we have our stream a little bit later with good old Derek, I thought, maybe we should do just like a normal stream to get through some of the news because we're still catching up from the previous week. So that is in fact what we're going to do. Now I need to give a story time before we begin. So I was watching Last Free Nation last night. Now this is a YouTube channel that has a lot of different notable individuals that are commentators, analysts, what have you, around the esport industry, traditionally talking about League of Legends, or at least two of them, but there is more to it. Now, they did an entire, I want to say 3-hour stream talking about Counter-Strike and the Counter-Strike situation where they changed what the in-game skins, the weapons, the knives, whatever it is. I have to admit that I've not really ever played Counter-Strike, but it was something that was compared to of the NFT market where you have these digital skins that you're able to actually sell for real cash. And whatever change that they did within Counter-Strike, it basically just destroyed the valuation of what the items were. Now, during this discussion, the three gentlemen were talking, and one of them is named Monty, and Monty was kind of alluding to the fact of, NFTs, this is what's supposed to prevent it in a way. And the other person on the call, Richard, there was three, the other guy being Thorin, and Richard was so vehemently against NFTs, the discussion around it, anything, disgust, disdain, just ripping on it. Didn't even want Monty to continue on the discussion. So the dislike for digital assets is still massively out there and on the top of several individuals' minds that we're going to have to keep an eye on because we're seeing more and more companies kind of steer away from the Web3 mantra, assuming at some point that it will be cool again, but not currently. Or when I say cool again, maybe that's not the right phrasing because that's going to trigger people, right? Because you have to think of what is going to be the trigger words. It's going to be something that changes for the better, right? The idea, the concept of owning a digital item makes sense. But there's too many problems around. And so how are we going to fix that? So again, just a quick little reminder, today about 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have lovely old Derek here, a part of a marketplace, but also a huge collector of sports digital collectibles. So we'll get his thoughts on the market dynamic, a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to be coming up about 5 p.m. EST. So keep that in mind. I saw Carly post about this saying, how do you feel about digital sports collectibles? As the good old Hoonsies come flying through from the top rope. Holy smokes, is he playing Zake's True?
Hell yay, bro.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Yo, coming through for a 48 months. Unreal. Dude, so when I said that I deleted League of Legends, I wasn't even kidding. I don't know if it was their Riot Vanguard, anti-cheat, whatever. I can't get the game to load. So at some point, I'll re-download, but hope you've been having fun with the gang. So how do you feel about sports digital collectibles? Derek saying physicals will always be here. Can't beat a physical ball, patch, or bat. Scarcity is a very vague with physical. How many LeBrons and Ohtani rookie cards are there? With digital, it's precise. Fair enough. Let's keep on going here. I have digital collectibles on my phone. No clue why people would pay for them, as they're showing a couple of different physical collectibles of Willie Mays back in the day. Yo, Vibes, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. Fun to collect for a while, cheap to manipulate the market, but lack of physical product and therefore physical ownership is why I'm out. Just buy Bitcoin. Same thing, more believers. So let me get this right. We ask about, do we like collecting digital sports moments? And they say, no, just buy Bitcoin. That makes sense. That makes sense, right? Everyone's got to twist it within their own way. And why does the crypto thing have a kind of a bad rap? Orangey posted this video saying how the 17-year-old made $1 million rugging meme coins. Just why are we making that as the headline? And then as soon as I see that, this pops up on my timeline of these influencer people that bought a meme coin and it didn't go well.
You do crypto?
I did crypto.
But now you don't do it.
Yeah, I bought your boyfriend's coin.
Oh,
did you really?
Yeah.
What is it called? Launch coin?
No, it was literally his name.
Oh, Pasternak?
Yep.
Oh, and then did you make a lot of money from that?
I lost money.
Just every day, I'm brutal. Anyway, the continuing on here. So I had a little bit of a thought this morning, and I think that it spurned from last night during the discussion. And if you're on the stream last night, thank you so much for tuning in for that and joining again here. But we looked at Rekt Brands, and Rekt Brands is a company that is doing digital. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say they're just doing digital because it's a lot more than that. But it started as an NFT collection and it's transcended into doing a coin. It's transcended into doing beverages and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so the concept and one of the early ways that they had kind of the word out about this is they sold it to these stores. These stores were able to, or individuals, I should say, and there was like an allocation of the Rekt token that came with it. Now, early days, obviously the valuation wasn't insane, but technically you got a product you could resell if you were a store. You got this coin that ended up going up in value because they're doing token buybacks for it, and they're continuing to expand this brand. Now, there's an NFT component to it as well, but what the big kind of takeaway, I guess, for me was they're doing the token buybacks. And we noticed that almost every single protocol is starting to do that. We had the Uniswap, where if you've ever done any kind of like digital trade online for crypto in the decentralized fashion, there's a high likelihood that you've used Uniswap. And the protocol fees are going to start, right? So it's a little bit different than a buyback per se, but there's some kind of like revenue model there in a sense. And so seeing that we're either having straight up revenue or token buybacks and seeing that Rekt Brands is doing that, are we going to see a bunch of the other collections start doing something similar if they're able to make revenue elsewhere to help support the people that are a part of it? Because that's sort of like the Web3 mantra, right? So within the Good Vibes Club, they gave a little bit of an update for the Vibes strategy. And we've seen a couple different NFT collections really lean into what's going on with the token strategy and saying, hey, if this token is going to buy up our floor, okay, well, maybe it saves us potentially having to like buy our own floor, which is something that if you didn't notice today, there was a certain collection that went and did that. They got caught in 4K and it's been a huge shebang over the timeline, which if you remind me, we'll go over that in a second. But they're saying 5% of every Good Vibes Club NFT sale is collected as an enforced royalty, which can be redirected into the Vibe Wheel at any time, or what the Vibe strategy is. Any revenue generated by Good Vibes Club can also support the Vibe Wheel. It's a responsive system that reacts to its input. And so this other collection that wasn't these guys got like just tarnished on the timeline because it was pointed out that essentially they were buying their own floor and it was kind of bad. But when Rekt Brand buys their token that's associated with it, people love it. So do we suddenly have the sort of change that if it's buying like the ERC20 token, it's fine. I don't really get it. Yes, less circulation supply, that we haven't seen these prices really. Well, that's another thing. We don't really know what's going on with the market. So this collection, whatever Kindred Labs is, apparently went and they sent 80 ETH to a new wallet and then bought their own NFT and then said, we just broke 1 ETH. We did it, fam. The climate has turned vertical. And then they had an official apology statement saying, dear community, we owe you an apology. We wanted to announce the Clara giveaway next week. It seems the news decided to show up early. Yes, we've been buying back Clara, not to play the market, but to give back to the ones who believed early. People can call it what they want. We call it appreciation. Everything we do is for the community, from the Open Kaido Yapper leaderboard to the rewards built for genuine builders and small accounts. If caring too much is a mistake, we'll probably keep making it. See you next week. The real surprise is still coming. Warm regards, Kindred. I'm sitting here, right? I'm having a little bit of a self-reflection for a second. Why the hell do we care? Why the hell do we care if these collections are buying back their floors? Oh, because we want like some kind of organic demand? Yo, listen, if we're all buying something and they decide they're going to sweep it, more power to you. You know what I mean? Like, I get that it's like a news cycle and this and that. I think the problem comes through when it's like, it's disingenuous saying, hey, look, everybody, like our floor's flying. If it's presented in like a truthful, honest way of like, hey guys, we're buying our floor because we want to like help support the people, right? Like this letter, if that was just posted instead of like faking, hey, like we're going vertical, who cares, right? So this comes back to the point of like, as long as you're transparent, you're fine. Anytime you like aren't, it just goes super, super badly. And so Vibe Strategy, we just highlighted something from there where they were kind of updating some things and having a little bit of a, injection of things. And then Chimpers, we just had on the RWA SegMints Podcast, links in the description down below or in my bio on X, but they actually hired somebody specifically as the token strategy advisor, helping to shape and scale Chimp strategy as it integrates deeper into the Chimpers ecosystem and evolves into one of the leading strategy tokens in Web3. So do we continue to see sort of like a support mechanism from these bigger companies as they're building out the brand? Because if you follow Chimpers and if what you've seen lately, they keep talking about how they have all these numbers on TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, and that's really, really good. But also, if they are leaning towards more of the Web 2 side, does the Web 3 side get forgotten about, and how can they include that in any sort of way? Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Have you guys ever heard of MoonFrost? No? Let me play a video right quick. It's kind of got like a Harvest Moon type of vibe. Okay, so it's got like another minute of that, but essentially, so we are excited to say that MoonFrost will launch on Steam as a premium PC game with no crypto, no NFTs, and no tokens. We believe this is the best path forward for MoonFrost, giving it a home where thousands of players can discover it, play it, and fall in love with it. Now, do I disagree with the aspect of, going on Steam, maybe dropping some of the NFT components? Is a bad call? Not necessarily. Honestly, after watching that stream last night, on Last Free Nation. Hoonsy, I don't know if you were joined for that, but I was rewatching the stream about Counter-Strike, and Richard Lewis just was shredding NFTs while Monty was like sort of defending the aspect of like what Counter-Strike was in that sense. But there's still such like an unbelievably huge stigma around it that for some of these, unless you have like massive funding or some sort, like you are absolutely going to struggle in that sense. So at what point does it change? I have absolutely no idea. Now I need to crash out for a second here. Yo, GB Australia. Good morning. Good morning. POV, can feel your next tweet has room to be a banger. So if I was going to ask you, what do you think that the follow-up tweet from this was like an absolute banger? Over, under, maybe yes, no. The follow-up tweet was that staking was enabled for their token. I face palmed so hard. I'm like, I don't know. Staking just like does not get me out of bed any. No? Okay, well, you were absolutely correct on that call. Yeah, I was just about to ask you if you've followed anything on the CS skins. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and it was, a fair amount of discussion when it happened, and then I feel like after 2 days, just gone. Nobody talked about it anymore. It was super weird. So Drew Austin was apparently in New York City for Blockchain Week. Hands up if you had any idea that we just had Blockchain Week anywhere in the world. Everybody hands are down? Okay, cool. Same. The sentiment is, I'd say, a mix of frustration and disappointment. So here are the themes from the people on the boots on the ground, allegedly, okay? People can't point to a single crypto product they are proud of. Yeah. Yeesh. Institutions aren't touching DeFi. Too risky and vulnerable. All right, fair enough. And arguably, like, agree to a point as well. Gaming is dead before its arrival. It's very interesting. Now, actually, hold on a second. I want to go to this institution thing for a second because we saw an announcement where it was a JP Morgan coin token thing for institutions that Brian Armstrong posted this morning. I'm gonna have to look into it more because I briefly saw it this morning. But what I'm getting at is if Coinbase is one of the bigger institutional players where everybody that's an institution kind of runs through them, because from my understanding, that's sort of what it is. What does that mean for the base network? For this DeFi, it's too risky. Okay, fair. But are they going to be open to DeFi on the base network because it's associated with Coinbase? Is that a narrative that we could look at, or is that sort of weird? Gaming is dead before its arrival. That's That's tough. And clearly we're just seeing why that's the case. Well, also we have Robbie Ferguson from IMX bull posting every single day about what's going on there. So it's a very weird kind of, I guess, dichotomy. Not sure if prediction markets need crypto. Agree. The metaverse is a fantasy, which today the other side platform is live. If you want to go check into it, there is a client that you could install, or if you just want to do it on the web browser, you're able to. Realize that it might load extraordinarily slow initially, but it will eventually work. NFTs are worthless. Nice. NFT lending markets could lead to the demise of NFTs. Very interesting. Well, I mean, NFT lending markets could lead to the demise of NFTs. See, this comes down to like the demand of things, right? Because to lend an NFT, you have to buy an NFT. So you have people from like different parts of the past several years that have bought them at different price points. So I don't know. Like I kind of get this, but I feel like NFTs would just be like the demise of NFTs versus like the lending markets. MXC is screwed. One of the bigger exchanges that had a lot of issues about a week ago. Yeah, I was just about to ask you. Oh, sorry. Regarding institutional grain. Gotcha. DATs are a ticking time bomb. Crypto capital markets is just TradFi new clothes. We used to invest in projects. Now we buy charts with lever. Yeah, it just keeps going down of like bad, worse. Okay, really bad. Okay, not horrible. Nope, that's horrible. Like I don't know if there was anything that was good in that entire thread that was pointed out. But switching from bad news to great news, YouTube says new policy doesn't ban all crypto content. Hooray! We're not dead yet. Despite uproar from creators. YouTube won't be nuking NFT or crypto gaming content after all. Their new policy targets casino and gambling promos, not games or videos that mention NFTs, tokens, or wallets. Very nice to see on that front. So have you guys been following Riftbound at all? Oh, sorry. Vibes blockchain. Regarding institutional grade, the more stablecoins, the more and easier it will be for people to enter prediction markets. Fair enough. So LS, who is a big League of Legends streamer, was talking about how he's like absolutely impossible where he is, I believe, in Korea to get any of the English Riftbound people Riftbound cards, which is the new TCG from Riot Games. And apparently Brazil's facing the same issue where people are getting like 50% of what was ordered. I'm seeing like across the globe issues with it. And I don't know if it's like by intention from Riot to have the supply kind of small to start the market kind of frothy. Because, you know, everybody pays attention when something's a little frothy out there. But something to keep an eye on. And then over in the VeeFriends world, the public pre-order for Super Stickers Spectacular Series, the 4S's, goodness gracious, is now closed. Do we want to buy stickers? It's very interesting. VeeFriends really are covering like every component they could possibly think about in the markets. Breaking: Grand Theft Auto film in development may be released before GTA 6. Imagine we get the movie before the game. What would that look like? Now, can you imagine you and your homies are hanging out and somebody takes a photo and then they just take everybody's like profile picture and throw it on their face? It is hilarious that we live in a world where all of us are people, right? Like, yeah, in person, I could high five vibes, I could hang out with Australia, hang out with, have hung out with Hoonsy and a speakeasy. What an experience that was, eh, buddy? But online, we're all just like a random digital picture. Top Shot's $2,500 rookie debut cases just sold out. That's quite strong. Now, I know that I haven't done like a lot of like paying attention to what's going on with NBA Top Shot, but the fact that they like legitimately sold a $2,500 case of moments is bonkers banana pants. Case toppers, 3 per case. Rookie debut premium packs, 10 per case. That is a nutso. We'll see if we can look and see like what's actually in here. You can pay with PayPal, Apple Pay. Guys, look at technology. Look at technology. I don't remember that happening back in the day. So Cooper Flagg, the lowest ask is $175,000. Excuse me? Excuse me. Let's take a look at this. One for sale. Is there like more than this, or is it just like a single one? Oh, it's a one of one moment. What's the likelihood of that to like actually sell, by the way? I still remember the LaMelo moment. It was like him doing an assist to the side. Yo, Staley coming through with a holy triple banger, brother.
Yo, sheesh, imagine not sending it on that flag.
Yeah, true facts. I mean, I don't know if I know anybody that has 175,000 that they'd be like willing to spend on a singular item of a basketball moment on a digital platform. You know what I'm saying? Some crazy person might buy it. Top shot in the big 2025. I'm trying to see. So, they even like have the nationality of the person that has a CM, whatever. They have a 3 million top shot score, which is a 0.01%. They have 154 Laker moments, 147 Spurs, 145 Dallas Mavericks. And they're buying up some Cooper Flagg moments. Buying a lot of Cooper Flagg moments. Okay. We can stalk different people's accounts. It's kind of crazy. Man, acting like he doesn't know tag. You actually think that Tagline would go out there and buy that kind of a moment? I don't know. Listen, I don't know about that. I know that Tagline bought the Sam Spratt. I don't know at like what point that he bought one of those. I didn't realize like how expensive these things were. But Taggy's got one of the masks. That actually might be him right there. Yeah, Tagline. Yo, he's selling it for $26K. Yo, there's Tagline right there. Holy sweet mother of pearl. What do you guys think? A mask? This. $26,000. Or like season tickets for like life at a local hockey club. I mean like life. He's got one of the pianos. If this was a 1-of-1 SGA at their position free throw line, he probably would. I don't know. These are kind of cool though, like the masks. I mean, I don't know about like spending like that much on it, but also, do you guys see Pranksy absolutely crashing out on the timeline today? So Pranksy is like a pretty big influencer individual, and he was selling these like House of Pranksy NFTs. And I think it was like kind of expensive. But then they didn't sell out. And so he called Web3 a cesspool, and then he was like leaving the space. And this is after like I'm pretty sure he made an absolute bank on so many different things and has done several different collections. So we were seeing like the wildest crash outs ever on the timeline lately. It's really spectacular. Okay, so what am I looking at for these pianos, by the way, Hoonsy? He's got one of the pianos. He's got one of the pianos that are 118,000. Yo, Tagline, you are my new financial advisor. Where in the hell is Tagline? Let me see if I can find that Pranksy thing for a second. It's pretty weird. Also, allegedly YubiKey. You guys know the like hardware. I want to say wallet, but it's not a wallet, but it's like a hardware device to make sure that like you're verified that you're logged in. Apparently that's down, and people are having like errors galore, like big time problems. Oh, let me jump back here for a second. So the Story protocol on the topic of buybacks. Story Foundation has completed over 60% of its planned IP purchases, which is like its token. The foundation will extend the buyback program from 82 million to 100 million and the purchasing window to February 2026. By that date, the foundation plans to deploy over 100 million toward IP purchases on the open market. Listen, why didn't we just buy IP? Listen, if these guys are just wailing out there, that's crackers. I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Okay, so here's the post from Pranksy. Thank you so much to everyone who minted a House of Pranksy membership yesterday. We're ever so grateful for your support. Unfortunately, the launch numbers we saw don't make it sustainable to continue with our original vision and be able to pay our team. Everyone who purchased a membership will be refunded today. They're going to still do some certain stuff. However, the lack of traction on the product has made it clear that the removal of secondary royalties and the quashing of any interesting and unique features in NFTs has created the market that we as a creative team can't work in. We've invested lots of time in NFTs, hope we could bring something positive to a space that has lost the values it originally held. However, it's just not possible. We do still believe in the technology and will be integrating its use into our future projects. And then he like says that like Web3 is a cesspool and then I'm out of here. Yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of thing in there that he says. How many were minted? I want to say that it wasn't really many. But okay, look. people are bashing him on this, and I to a point I'm like, okay, like I get it. But I think it's more of like a self-realization of, hey, we woke up today, the market absolutely tanked. We've been in like 2 weeks of sheer depression on the timeline where nobody's happy unless we're hanging out here. You know what I mean? We're having a good time over here. But generally speaking, people are having the worst time of their lives looking at all this stuff. Alts are getting completely wrecked. We just looked at where in some of the in-person events, people are just saying NFTs are worthless. And then we're like, oh, I'm surprised that like, we can't sell out this collection right now. Well, at the same time, we are having other ones that are kind of like bigger community conglomerates of sorts that have sold out. There was something called like wall chains this morning that I've seen people talking about. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Football.fun, they just had like their announcement where they're doing a whole bunch of stuff within like the NFL. And they're starting like a tournament tomorrow. Other side just launched today. Like there's a lot of stuff that is happening. And so it's really weird to say like, hey, what we did right now didn't really work. And so like, yeah, the space just sucks. I don't know. I feel like clearly some things work, some things don't. That's more or less it, right? 84 were minted at 0.1 ETH, 6 at 250 minted at 1 ETH. I mean, 1 ETH in this market is crackers, right? And we have to think with all of the different, like the mega ETH thing, actually, I guess people could buy the monad. I'm trying to remember because Coinbase, there's still so many things. You can't even remember what's going on, right? On top of, and what if everybody spent their money trying to get those Cooper Flagg moments in NBA Top Shot? You never know. Apparently what happened out of the gate, yeah. The market maker was waiting for everyone to scream bear. Well, I feel like the majority of people are just screaming, we are ready for the bull market that is supposed to happen, right? Here in a little bit. Yeah, no, never mind. Bitcoin's crashing again. Yep, it's over. True. It's actually wild, though, to like look at this chart if you haven't seen it today. It's like, all right, cool. We're up to like 107. Never mind. We're basically back at 100. Like the past week and a little bit is just the most ridiculous chart. Can we go like a month? Yeah. It's like up, down, way up, down, up, down. Turn it into a song. You know what I mean? Like the cha-cha slide. Take it back, daddy-o. 3 ups this time. Bam, bam, 3 ups this time. All right, that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. But wait. Wait, hold on. It's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Yeah, like 2 hours-ish. 5 Eastern. We're going to be live with Derek. We're talking about sports stuff. I'm going to more like kind of sit back and let him riff on different things. So if you're interested in learning about people that are spending hundreds of dollars on sports collectibles right now, we're going to get into the nitty gritty with them. It's going to be a great conversation. Set your timers. I'll see you back then. Hoonsey and Stately Wayne Manor, thank you guys so much for the support. 55 months on Stately and 48 on Hoonsey. I appreciate you guys. It's an absolute honor. And again, if you are over on Twitch and if you happen to have Amazon Prime, you can get a free subscription. And then on YouTube, I think I have it where it's like $2.99 a month if you're wanting to like help support, buy me a coffee, whatever. Appreciate that. And listen, TrueCon shows up as soon as we're leaving. Listen, TrueCon, you know what you are? You are a successful penguin because you're cute, cuddly, and just the perfect kind of guy. True. All right, that's weird. Goodbye forever. Peace.